What's going on? My name is Anthony Johnson. I'm a real estate agent here in Miami, and I'm also the creator of audio.com. And I wanted to do a video based on a blog that I did last year for buyers looking to buy a condo in Miami. And I wanted to update it so it's more geared towards 2022, as it's been a crazy year in regards to real estate. So let's jump right into it. I want to get started off with saying that I am a real estate agent, but this is not in any way any financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy a property or not to buy a property. I'm just giving my opinion in regards to the topic. Now, if you find this valuable, please make sure you subscribe and like, share some comments, share the video. I would really appreciate it. Right now, the market is pretty hot. I don't think the market is as hot as everyone else is saying. I've been seeing all the articles about how the prices in Miami are not going to come down. They're going to continue to increase. I have a different opinion on that. I do think that prices will not increase the way that they have. We've been seeing some very big increases from the end of last year till today. I don't think that we're going to continue to see that. If you're looking at the market right now, you'll see a lot of more price decreases. You'll see properties going under contract and falling out of contract. The reason for that is that right now you're going to see a lot of deals fall through because of the appraisal gaps. With condos in Miami, with the appraisers, from what I've seen, is they're going to appraise based off of the building, the recent sales in that building. They aren't really going based off of other sales from what I've seen. I've had an appraisal report that I read, and they did not go outside of the building, and that's hurting the appraised prices. So even though a lot of people are going under contract for cash, they are seeking financing on the side, and they're getting appraisals done during the inspection period. And since that, they want to get financing on the side, they definitely need it to appraise correctly or close to that number, and those gaps are pretty significant. So you're starting to see these deals fall through. Now, if you're buying cash, you probably wouldn't worry about the appraisal. An appraisal is typically from the lender. They want to see how much the property is worth so they can loan you the money. So it's kind of tricky right now with the prices increasing pretty quickly. But from my perspective, I don't think we're going to continue to see these prices go up. I think that they're either going to get stable. And the thing is, for me, is that we are seeing crazy high prices, but we're not seeing things actually sell for these higher prices. Now, prices are still higher, but there's some prices that are just a bit too high. And you can just tell by checking out a listing and seeing how long it's been on the market if you want to see if it's overpriced, because if it's priced correctly, it will sell. So if you're not familiar with buying a condo in South Florida, a lot of the condo sales are actually cash. It's a good chance you'll be going up against cash buyers. We're looking at over 50% of purchases for condos, up around 50%, if not a little bit more. And typically with single family homes, it's around 20 to 30%, give or take, that are paying cash. So you got to keep that in mind when you're buying, but that's just a quick tip. So that's a whole nother video. Now let's get into the pros and cons of buying a condo in Miami in 2022. Now we just talked about the market a bit. Now let's get into the pros, and I'm going to share a little bit more of if it's the right time to actually buy a condo in Miami this year. So first pro is going to be the affordability, because yes, prices sound like they're crazy. For one, if you take $1 million here in Miami, and I understand that they're saying that Miami is just as bad as New York. If you take at least $1 million and try to buy a condo in Miami, you're going to get a much better condo than you would in New York, at least in like the ideal areas. You're going to get a Bayview condo here in like Edgewater, or even downtown. Nah, I don't know about downtown. You might get, a view out west, but in Edgewater, which is like one of the up and coming neighborhoods. And if you're looking, I definitely recommend checking out that area. You can't take that $1 million and go into New York and get a nice condo. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is compared to buying a single family home, you can take $350,000 or $400,000 and you can buy a decent condo here in Miami. You can't find a nice house, at least in the metro area. You might be able to find some stuff out in Condo or out west or up north, but you're not going to find, and it's going to be small too in that price range, but you're not going to find something in the actual that heart of Miami for anywhere close to 350 to 400. You can find a decent condo in that price range though. So that's one of the biggest things and selling points in my opinion when it comes to buying a condo versus a single family home. And I think that's pretty universal throughout the country. I think that condos are typically more affordable in regards to the purchase price. You do got to keep in mind association fees, which do play a role in that, but typically condos are more affordable than a single family home. Number two is going to be community. So if you're unlike me, I am introverted. I know I'm a real estate agent, but I am very introverted. So I don't really care to have community. I hate when people are in the elevator. But if you like community, living in a condo is, especially in Miami, you might run into a celebrity. You might run into anybody. And there's so many different professions here in Miami. There's a big melting pot of professions here in Miami. Everyone's a real estate agent though. I think there's probably 8 out of 10 people are real estate agents here in Miami, but living in a condo definitely gives you the sense of that community. You have so many different people that's going to be in the building that you can meet. So if you like to, network, like even some buildings they do events. They do, workout events. They do drinking events as far as like wine and all that good stuff. So you can actually meet people without even leaving your building. So if you like community, living in a condo is probably going to give you the opportunity to meet a lot more people than if you just own a single family home. Next is insurance and utilities. So as far as utilities, you're typically going to pay an association fee, which includes water, trash, and sewer. Some places you'll even get basic cable or basic internet. And then when it comes to insurance, the building typically has a master insurance premium. Now you still will have to get insurance for your property or condo insurance, but it's not going to be as much as owning your home. But you paying that association fee, you're going to be taking care of the utilities, the master insurance, the upkeep of common areas, so on and so forth, which again, you're going to be paying for it. It's not like it's free, but it's taken care of in that association fee. Now, amenities are one of the top, things that is a pro for living in a condo, especially these days with newer buildings. Like the amenities, even older buildings are, they updated or renovated and added a lot of amenities. Like they typically, when they make renovations, they're going to go, if it's an older building, they're going to, renovate the amenity area. So with condos, you typically don't need a gym membership. Some buildings have very nice gyms, so that eliminates the need of having a gym membership. Again, that is all included with that association fee. So you kind of want to make sure the building that you're buying has a great gym if you work out, so you can eliminate that extra cost. Buildings typically have a community area. They have a lounge. They might have a movie theater. Some have bowling alleys. Some have basketball courts, spas, so on and so forth. It's just so many different things that a building can have, which again makes that association fee a little bit more worth it, especially if you're going to be using all of the amenities. Now, if you're someone that likes to have events, the amenities are definitely going to be something that you're interested in. Like, so for instance, I have clients that, were on Shark Tank and they hosted a showing at their building. They were able to rent out the community room as well as the movie theater. And they had a whole event, which was super dope and didn't have to have people in their condo. So that's a very cool feature, so to speak, when you are buying a condo in Miami versus having a single family home where you have to have everybody in your house. They had a bunch of people, no one stepped foot into their apartment, and it was pretty cool. So next up is views. Miami has some of the best views. Miami's a beautiful city, and you can't really see the city from a single family home, but you can from a condo. And like I said before, depending on your budget, you're not going to get what you get in Miami and places like New York in regards to, for the bang for your buck. And views play a huge role in what you're paying for. You want to have a condo with a great view. That's like ideal. And Miami has some really, really, really great views. And when you own a condo, you get to have, for the most part, a decent view of the city, of the bay, of the sunrise, of the sunset. So that's definitely another one of those pros that if it matters to you. If you don't mind staring at the building next door, then view doesn't really matter that much to you. Me personally, I'm not a huge on the view, but having a view definitely makes me feel a little bit better, at least. So next up is places of interest. If you're buying a condo in Miami, you're probably going to be buying it in the city, like the downtown area or South Beach. And when you live in these areas, everything that you typically need is going to be a walk away. I'm a real estate agent. Again, I focus mainly on listings, so I don't really need a car. But even when I did work with buyers and tenants and I had a car, I never really used my car. If you have driven in Brickell or downtown, you understand, like, it is a pain. It's a lot of traffic. You got to pay for parking everywhere, and that can be expensive. And I found myself as a real estate agent never really driving, because personally, everything that I need is steps away. I live downtown. If I need to go to Brickell, I can just hop on a Metro Mover, or I can just, Uber. I'm even thinking about buying a scooter. But if you live and work in the same area, so if you work in the downtown area or the South Beach, buying a condo nearby is going to be very, very helpful for you. Or if you're working remotely, I mean, you can go without having a car here in Miami. For us, me and my girlfriend, she had a car. She got rid of it last year. If we actually need to go somewhere, we just take a Zipcar. And I'll put a link down in the description for Zipcar. If I need to go somewhere far, for even like I did showings a month ago, I just rented out a car for a day and we did the showing. So other than that, everything I need is nearby. So that's one of the biggest pros, I think, of living in a condo in Miami. Next up is less maintenance. Now, less maintenance, I'm not saying as far as cost, because you are paying of a maintenance fee, the upkeep of the building within your association fee, but you don't have to do the manual work. You don't have to have that upkeep in regards to owning a single family home. You don't have to cut the grass. You don't have to take the trash up to the curb. Those small things can be annoying for some people, and you just don't have to worry about it when you own a condo. Now, you do have to pay that association fee, but even with a single family home, you should be putting money aside for a rainy day if something bad happens. So owning a condo is definitely less maintenance when it comes to the upkeep of the actual property. Now, the last thing is future investment purposes. I think that buying a condo in Miami is great because you can rent it out for a good amount of money. People always want to live in Miami. Before this craziness, and the statistics probably still say that there's a lot more renters than owners that actually live in the buildings or the condos. I'm pretty sure that's going to start changing, but you can live in this condo for a few years, 5-10 years, if you want to stay here long term, and you can rent it out afterwards and have someone else paying that mortgage while you're gaining an asset with someone paying your mortgage. So that's one of those things that I think that, buying a condo is a great idea, is because you can actually rent this out and you don't have to worry about the maintenance of a single family home if you were renting out a house. Now, let's talk about the cons of buying a condo in Miami. So the first one that we're going to talk about is the association fees, which isn't Miami specific. It's just something that you're going to have to encounter when you're buying a condo in general. This can be a fee if you're buying a house as well, single family home, if it's in a HOA. And those fees are typically a lot cheaper than how much it would be for buying a condo, just because it's just a lot more maintenance in regards to a condo building versus the maintenance when there's a HOA. When it comes to the ranges, at least in Miami, you can see the cost being anywhere between 50 cents per square foot up to 80 cents to 90 cents. The association fee can be like an additional mortgage. I mean, you see association fees that are over $1,000 sometimes. And one of the other things that you got to think about too, especially with the condo collapse, is that at least I know for sure in Miami Beach, the city is going to these buildings and saying, hey, you need to get your reserves up. You got to get your reserves to a sufficient level, and you need to fix X, Y, and Z so we can prevent any situations. Association fees are even more expensive because, there's maintenance that needs to be taken care of. When I say maintenance, I mean like significant maintenance. A lot of buildings have not been getting their reserves replenished properly. So you're going to see in some instances buildings with higher association fees just to replenish their reserves so that they have the funds available in case a major repair is needed. So that's one of the things that, like, the top things. The next big thing is going to be the down payment and the odds of getting an approval for a loan. So when you're buying a condo, it's not just you getting approved for the loan, it's also the building. So, you know, I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but for you to pretty much be in a good situation where you can buy, you have more options, 25% if you're going to be buying for a primary use, and 30% down if you're going to be using this for an investment purposes. That's the target numbers that you should be looking at in regards to your down payment. Now, the reason for this is that when you put 25 or 30% down, the building is able to get a limited review, which there's 2 reviews, which is a full review and a limited review when it comes to a lender lending for a condo. And most condos won't pass the full review, which will allow a lower down payment. Most buildings aren't FHA approved. There is a actual list. I'm gonna put that link down in the description where you can see which buildings are FHA approved. Now, those buildings are going to be approved for, 3.5% down. But in the metro area, at least, there's not that many buildings here in Miami that are FHA approved. So you got to keep that in mind. Now, there are buildings that you are able to get, a loan and put as little as 3.5, 5, and 10% down. There's going to be a smaller list of condos that you'll be able to get approved for. It's best to talk to a local lender. They typically have an updated list in regards to what buildings are going to be able to get approved for, specific down payments. But that is something that you should definitely consider, and that is a con in my book, because it limits your ability, or it limits your options when you're buying a condo. Now, with condos, you have to, consider condos, their associations, and the rules and regulations. You got to make sure that you know the rules and regulations with these buildings. And, that can be a con. If you don't like rules and stuff, a condo might not be, best for you. But the rules and regulations are put in place to make sure that everyone in the building is, respecting everyone else pretty much. And, each building, case by case, building by building, actually enforces these rules. So you want to make sure that you're aware of the rules and regulations in the building, and you want to make sure you understand the restrictions. Now, if you have a pet, there may be pet restrictions in a condo building. You want to make sure that you're able to move in with your dog or your cat. There may be weight restrictions, or they may not allow pets. So you want to make sure you know that. There may be restrictions in regards to rentals. If you want to rent out your property, you might not be able to rent it out as much as you want to. Or, if you don't want to move in a building that is, allowing Airbnb or daily rentals, you can find that out by just seeing what their restrictions are. If they are a building that strictly enforce only 6-month rentals or yearly rentals, you're most likely not going to have to deal with living amongst tourists in regards to Airbnb or Verb or any other short-term platform, or just short-term rentals in general. So those are a few things that you want to make sure you are aware of. Now, appreciation. I'm not 100% on any of the things that I'm about to say, but just given my, experience, I don't believe condos appreciate as much as single family homes. You don't actually own the property. You just own a unit in a building, and the building is getting older by the day, and it's not just your building. So you have some say in the renovations of the building, but not, because you're an owner, you can, bring, some ideas, but, you can't really renovate the common area by yourself, or renovate the pool, so on and so forth, which would help appreciate the building. And in regards to single family homes, you can do all the renovations. The only things that you can look at is the neighborhood. A neighborhood like Edgewater is going to probably most likely appreciate, but that can go case by case. Things can go up and down, but overall, I believe single family homes appreciate better than condos. And another thing is pets and family. Condos are more and more pet and family friendly. Some places have dog parks, some places have like a kids center, but it's still not the same as owning a single family home. If you have a dog, having a yard is going to be, a big plus. Having a family, it's just more friendly to have a house. Now, there's plenty of people that have families, have babies, have kids that live in condo buildings, and they make it work, and they might not have any issues. The same things for pets, but that's just something that, can be considered a con, and something that you have to take into consideration if you have pets or if you have a family. And the last con is storage. You just don't have the same storage as you will with a single family home. Some buildings have extra storage space, but it's still like, it's not the same thing as just having a house with, you know, you can build a shed in your backyard or having a garage. It's just not the same. You can, you know, if you have a bigger condo, use a certain room for storage, or like this, you know, room right here is a den. This could be used as storage, but it's just not the same as a single family home. So overall, you know, buying a condo in Miami in general is, you know, it's up to you. And in regards to being like, is it a good time to buy a condo in 2022? Again, I'm big on it's a case by case, person by person situation. I'm not going to be the one to tell you that the time is now to buy, because every time, you know, you see a real estate agent, they get into their sales person bag and they say, yeah, right now is a great time to buy for X, Y, and Z reasons. The best time to buy is when you're ready. It doesn't matter if the prices are high, if the prices are low, if the mortgage rates are high, if the mortgage rates are low. If you're ready to buy, then you're ready to buy. If you're not ready to buy, then you're not ready to buy. If I'm telling you, if you're asking for investment purposes, do I think right now is a good time to buy? Absolutely not. In specific areas, yeah. If you're looking to buy, you know, for an investment, I think buying a smaller condo in South Beach might be a great idea, because you can buy a condo for less than, you know, $200,000-$300,000 and get a pretty good return in regards for the rental rate. But, you know, to just buy a condo in downtown for an investment purpose, I don't think that that'd be a good idea, because the prices are, you know, high and rent rates are high, but the prices are also high and the mortgage rates are high. So it's all person by person. It depends on where you're at, where your finances are. If you're looking to, you know, you want to wait for a lower rate, or if you want to wait for prices to drop. So like, as of right now, from my opinion, I don't believe that, you know, the prices are going to continue to go up as much as they have been. At least they might keep going up, you know, because a lot of people are moving to Miami. I've seen reports saying that Miami or South Florida doesn't have, it's a low possibility for prices to go down. But, you know, I do think that prices aren't going to keep going up as much as they have. They might get a little bit more stable, or they might actually decline. We don't know. You know, I wish I could time travel, but I don't know. And no one knows. Buying real estate is just like buying anything else in regards to investments. I know a lot of people are always trying to time the market correctly, but in reality, you can't. You never know. You can buy a property right now and the prices can skyrocket still. And you can, you know, see next year and have an increase in value in a year, or prices can drop. But the biggest thing is, for me, if I'm giving my opinion, is are you going to live in that property long term? If you're looking to live in a property long term, then go ahead and buy. If you're looking to live there short term, you probably don't want to buy, because there is a chance, and there's always going to be a chance, that prices can drop after you buy. And I honestly think, you know, in certain cases, buying a house or buying any type of property is going to be better for you to go through a recession if your finances are good, because of rent. Like, my rent is getting ready to increase very, very high. I'm not the only one. I'm seeing people's rents increase by, you know, double. And, you know, buying a property, that's my goal to buy this year, just because I don't want my rent to continue to go up. I just want my mortgage to be what it is. And I know it's going to be that, and not have to worry about my landlord just upping my rent. So that's why I want to buy. But the thing is that, you know, you don't want to buy when you're not ready, and then you lose your job, or, you know, something significant happens and you're unable to pay your mortgage, and then you're in a whole different situation. And the biggest thing is maintenance. Like, when you own a property, you are responsible for that property. You can't just call your landlord and tell them to fix it. So you want to make sure you have, you know, some financial discipline before you purchase a property, period. Now, in 2022, interest rates are higher. They aren't historically the highest. Like, interest rates were higher than this in the early 2000s, and even higher in the 1990s and 1980s. I think it was like 17% interest when you were buying a house. So rates historically are still on the lower side, but interest rates might come down. If that happens, you can always refinance. But overall, it's up to you. If you're ready to buy, I say if you're looking to buy and stay in a place for like long term, and when I say long term, I'm saying anywhere between 5 to 10 years, by all means buy. And if you have the means to buy it. Now, if you got to get creative to buy, I don't know if it's a good time to buy for you, because if you can't come up with a down payment, or if your credit score isn't the best, I don't know if right now is a good time to buy, because interest rates are high and prices are high. You might want to focus on getting your finances right, and wait for the interest rates to come down, prices to come down before you buy, because you don't want to get stuck in a certain situation. That's just my opinion of the pros and cons of buying a condo in 2022. If you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. Submit any feedback in the comments, or if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. But thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.